going to do a little tarot reading here, not just for me, but for you. I don't know if you, like in another video I shared, you've been feeling like you're at a standstill or that you're spinning your wheels and going nowhere. Um, I think a lot of people are feeling that lately, especially with some of the readings I've seen online. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say, but I'm going to start with the Dark or the Deviant Moon Tarot to see, hopefully, the shadows, the darkness, the last couple of weeks. I've kept my head above water, but, there were times where I was just really upset, blah, 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 pissing and moaning like an old lady. Anyway, I wanted to pull a card with the Deviant Moon Tarot to see if it'll pick up on what some of us are going through when it comes to feeling stuck, feeling like what we're striving for is still at an arm's length, um, but also getting out of our own way. I don't know about you, but sometimes it feels like we we don't find out till after the fact. You can see with hindsight where you bought into the dark thoughts, depressive thoughts. You know what it's like when you're going on a downward spiral. You tend to blame all the things that are happening on external forces, but oftentimes it's just us overthinking things or what have you. So I'm asking the cards, you tell us, what is it that's going on, or has it passed? Hopefully with Aries now in season, and you know, things hopefully are being jolted so that we can move on, drag our carcass, continue on. I've been having a lot of incredible dreams, which I'm going to share too. Very abstract. Okay, this just flipped. And for me, I'm a Virgo, the Hermit. This is the version. Geez, I wonder if I'll get in trouble for sharing this on YouTube, but I'm not showing any bits. But this is Patrick Valenz's version of the Hermit. And the interesting thing about his cards, his tarot cards, is that he does kind of talk about the dark side more, and that's why I use the Deviant Moon a tarot deck when I'm looking at the shadow um, or the dark sides that we don't like to acknowledge. But let's see what he says about the hermit. The hermit hides from the world in his alcove, unlike the Rider Waite deck where he's holding the lantern up on the mountaintop or outside his cave. So let me just read this. Oh, that's my husband's phone going off. Even though he shuts himself off from the city, he is never truly alone. The rotted fish beside him is a reminder that we can never hide from ourselves. That's true with the shadow. Upright meaning solitude, exile, one who seeks to be alone, outcast, hidden knowledge, secrecy. So one thing I've done battle with, and even though I'm being a lot better with the trauma processing, is if I am starting to feel a bit depressed, or if I'm feeling like I'm going on a downward spiral, I withdraw. I think a lot of us do. Um, and with that rotted fish lying next to him, I get that. Sometimes, if we're not facing the shadow and really understanding our negative side, our negative natures, we can't really fully assimilate knowledge about ourselves and how to move forward. So, um, I don't know if anyone out there's been. I know someone commented on that video I put out there recently about feeling like I'm in a spiral, that they said, yeah, they're feeling it too. Sometimes, well, oftentimes in our lives, we're the ones who are causing what's happening, or it's our overthinking, or, you know, seeing negative things as an anomaly. Life is light and dark, and it's about how we work our way through it. So I've been feeling a lot better um, lately, and I'm just going to keep forging on. I'm going to keep putting the content out there. Um, I'm trying not to be too diverse, like with the Legendary Law, for example. When I put that out, when I started that series, I thought, oh my God, am I just doing too much? And I said, no. The wonderful thing about all these different avenues on the channel is that at any given time, whatever mood I'm in, I'll create a video, and I try to cycle them through so that I'm not doing, like, you know, the magic of stones, bones, and fossils 3 days in a row. I like to sort of rotate them out. I try to get myself to come up with a schedule to put it on the channel, so you know, for example, Tuesdays is this, Thursdays are that. But that's just not how I'm wired. Even though I'm very organized, and I work a full time job, and sometimes when I do this stuff, it's stuff I enjoy, it's my hobby. So I don't want to turn it into a job, if you know what I mean, and make it too official. Well, it's Wednesday, I've got to do an animal totems video. I thought, no, I'm just going to roll it through, and hopefully you guys can roll with me. Just know that eventually throughout the week you're going to get a nice mixed bag of herbal profiles, dark side of the garden, mythological totems, healing, like trauma processing, uh, and, you know, gemstone stuff, animal totems, uh, legendary lore, uh, guided meditations. Just, I'm a bit of a hodgepodge, and this channel's a bit of a hodgepodge. And even though I'm going to start bringing in more numerological content, I'm going to try not to be loading up and make it too messy, but then it's already a mess. But I think it's a lovely mess. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. One more card with this, you know, going forward, when it comes to dealing with darkness, what can we do to help keep moving? Page of Wands. And I love this version of the Page of Wands by Patrick Valenza in the Deviant Moon deck. Let's see what his interpretation of the Page of Wands is. And this isn't just for me, like I said, this is for you as well. Page of Wands. Using a pair, let me hold it up while I talk about it. Using a pair of handmade stilts, the page boldly treks across an icy pond. Undaunted by the inherent risk of his actions, he confronts life's obstacles with youthful optimism and energy. Creative thinking, ingenuity, a genius. Well, I wouldn't say that. But that's interesting because, yeah, going across the pond, you're still navigating your way. Well, just like what I just said about striding through and just keeping on. And that's one thing I've learned through the trauma processing, is that it's not like everything is stagnant and it's going to be that way going forward. Life is up and down. That's the way it goes. So I feel good about that. I know this was a bit of a waffle, and I know I always say I waffle. But I wanted to give you this update. There are some good things coming down the pike. Please share, um, and like and comment and subscribe and all that. And stay tuned, because I will let you know when, first of all, the numerology profiles are up, the tarot for the different numerology profiles, but also the interesting interviews I'll be sharing over the next couple of months. And I have a project, so I sort of give you a sneak peek. Well, not even a sneak peek, I haven't actually put it together yet. But one thing I was really interested in is doing a little experiment with numerology and going and looking at serial killers. I know that sounds a bit, oh, here she goes down the dark path. She's just talking about getting out of the darkness. But anyway, um, I wanted to compare different numerological readings for different serial killers and see is there any common thread in terms of um, multiple numbers that you could consider contribute to a dark nature or psychological problems and stuff. Uh, so I'm going to do a couple of those and share and see what you guys think. Because if it looks like you guys are interested, I'll keep going. And then after a few months, we'll be able to look back and say, okay, has there been a common thread? Have we seen that serial killers usually have multiples of this number or that number? For example, I'm assuming multiples of ones and fours or sevens that aren't necessarily all negative, but when you see it in a cluster in a numerological reading, you start to get an idea that repetition or numbers that repeat themselves can indicate certain aspects of our personality. But I'm going to be doing the first Avatar video. I'm a little bit nervous about it, but Valley Myers is who I'm going to be getting not so much, well, yeah, dressed up as, but also the makeup and the hair. I got myself a wig. Oh my God, it's going to be a giggle. But I'm going to, as I get ready, share the story of Valley Myers, the Australian artist, beautiful, my favourite artist. And you know, I was friends with her towards the end. Spent quite a lot of time with her, bringing her coffee and going dancing with her at the Young and Jackson Hotel and spending time with her. But I'll share those stories as I get ready. I really want to get into the avatar side of things and share videos about that to sort of give you an idea about how to personify, um, whether it be your heroes or if you want to get an idea of what it's like to live in the skin of someone that you've always been fascinated by. But anyway, love yous.